to be love and service. Egotism of thinking oneself very great only agitates the mind because there's always so much competition. And we have so many shortcomings, whoever we may be. I mean, even people like Hitler and other powerful dictators who were controlling the destiny of millions. Internally, they were egomaniac. He was an egomaniac. But he was terribly insecure and unstable. And always worried about his position and what people are going to think of him. Is there any satisfaction in that? It's an extreme example. A virtue which is divine is humility. A person who could do great things and maintain humility of the heart, charity of the heart, goodness of the heart, is a person who could actually make a difference in people's lives in a very, very positive way. Spiritual life is about the awakening of the dormant, natural love within us. In today's world, how people exploit, even the name of religion, to speak of everything else, for their own selfish purposes. Jesus said you can judge a tree by its fruit. The tree is the rituals. The tree is the belief system. But the fruit is the qualities and the character that is developed through the process. I left home when I was 19 in search of spiritual answers to questions I had. I was born and raised in a wealthy family in a northern suburb of Chicago, and I had so many opportunities that were on a silver platter for me to accept if I so wanted. I was going to college, but for those of you who are of this age, you know what it was like in the 60s. People were asking questions. People who have everything are not necessarily happy. People who have everything are not necessarily the type of people that I want to be like. What is the meaning of life? What do I really want? So I came to Europe, studied Judaism, Christianity, and I was really finding great spiritual nourishment. When I hitchhiked from London to India, it took 6 months. And in the Middle East, hitchhiked through Turkey, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan. I was studying the Quran. Then I came to India and studied under Buddhist lamas and monks and great rishis and sadhus of the Hindu faith. And I adopted a particular path that deeply affected and fulfilled my own heart, which is why I look the way I do today. But one thing I found is when you go to the real saints, men or women, throughout history of every religious tradition, we're speaking the same thing. Spirituality. Living with ethics. Living with morality. Living with compassion. And developing, nourishing the internal divinity within us. Or in other words, accessing the love of God and being instrument of that love in everything we do. That is the purpose of prayer. That is the purpose of meditation. That is the purpose of chanting of mantra. It is tuning into that energy, that divine energy to nourish our hearts that is within us and around us. And to be better human beings and instruments of God's love. That's the purpose of all religions. And to realize the eternality of our consciousness beyond the transformations of this body and mind. How is it that in the name of religion and God, people are developing bigotry, sectarianism, hatred, which impels them to persecute, to even kill? Does that have anything to do with spirituality or religion? Absolutely nothing. It's just exploiting the name, the ritual, and the form for the purpose of people's own conditioned, egoistic concepts. Throughout the ages, people of all sectors of society have thought deeply on these questions. What really is substantial to my life? To have a spiritual foundation, these types of principles, and then to build our life, our occupation, our domestic needs upon this foundation. Makes our life full and rich. The Bhagavad Gita, ancient Vedic scripture, very systematically and scientifically teaches us how to balance the various responsibilities we have in this world. We have responsibilities to our own health. We have responsibilities to our family, to our society. We have responsibilities to our occupational duties. But we also have responsibilities for the inner development of our own heart. Responsibility to God within our heart. And to balance these with intelligence, with proper direction, makes our life full and rich. If we neglect any of these principles, the richness of our life becomes imbalanced. Tendency is extremism. We go extreme one way. We either go to live in the caves of the Himalayas, or we just become just totally engrossed in acquisition of wealth. Either we become atheists, or we become fanatical religious. Too much extremism in this world. To find that balance nourishing the needs of my internal development through meditation, prayer, and a spiritual basis in my life. And simultaneously nourishing the needs and taking responsibility for our families, for our occupational duties, and for the society around us.